Well, Steve, do I look
What's up?
athletic to you? Do I look
Well,
spry? Do I
I know
look,
you're athletic and spry.
do I currently, as constituted, look athletic and spry?
Okay, hold on.
Can I show
So,
you how many pillows I'm using right now?
as some of you may know from our podcast and our YouTube video that was released yesterday, Bradford he said he would give me 20 days where I could give him workouts and a meal plan, and we were going to start February 1 and have the date be February 20th because that was a pork chuck weekend. And we go, okay, 20 days, you'll do whatever that I say for 20 days. And we came up with a great plan for you.
Great plan.
So tell me
All the best laid plans. The best laid plans.
right. So like, how was your first week? How was
My
it
first week was
adapting to everything? So just talk about that for a second, and then we can get into why we're doing this video now.
my first week was great. I found that my food choices were not so different from what I need, staying strict to a certain amount of calories, staying strict to a certain groups of foods and combinations of foods was not hard. And I think we talked about it, on the podcast a little bit, but like thinking of food as fuel rather than just like being like, food.
Right.
That was an easy mind switch for me, which I thought I felt really lucky about that because
that's a tough one for people. That's like one of the
Right.
biggest hurdles that people have is the mental of, hey, I'm going to change everything. It's going to be overwhelming. And, because you always want to when you're coaching people, you always want to give them a week to really mentally prepare that things are going to be different. Your food choices will be different.
For sure. So,
right. But the good thing is you weren't hungry.
No.
Like during this whole time, you didn't feel like you were deprived or going without things.
No. I mean, there were moments where like, because one of the things that was a big thing for me was not eating into the late into the evening. Right. Or having a glass of wine or two between 8 and 11 PM.
Sure.
Right. So that was a big change. Like when I was done with dinner, I would just fill up a couple bottles of sparkling water, and that was what I drank, and that was great.
Yeah. And I got to give you credit. I got to give you credit, dude, for somebody who drinks just casually and you just kind of use it to unwind at night.
Yeah.
And to not do that is pretty big, man. I mean, you got to take you got to take a little credit there though, because it's very difficult to do.
But it wasn't like, in the service of doing good for myself, it felt and it was something that I wanted to do. I think early in the pandemic, my wife and I surely kind of leaned into like, well, let's do whatever makes us happy because screw everything. Right.
Totally.
And it's not that I've never been inactive completely in my life either. So I always have that nagging voice in my head, like go exercise, do something, go for a walk, so now to have a routine, I think I was craving routine and I didn't know it.
Right. Great.
Or maybe I did know it. I just didn't take the steps to create one.
Right. So the routine is good. The accountability is good, obviously.
Yeah.
Having somebody checking on you. You did lose some pounds in the first week and some inches, which was great.
Yeah.
But then what happened?
Well, so I had done it was Tuesday of this past week. I had a great workout on Monday. After being down, I think 2.5 pounds in the first week, 2 days later, I was almost down another 2.5. Like things were really starting to like kick into gear.
Yeah. Awesome.
I think my body was like being like,
adapting.
Oh yeah. And so I was feeling great, high spirits, just great. And I was like, my friends are playing pickleball. Let's go play pickleball. And I've never hurt myself playing pickleball. Like, it's not like it's a high risk activity that was in my head. And so played for about an hour. Great. Then one of the guys left because we were playing doubles, which doesn't have as much movement. But when there's three, usually one person plays singles on one side and you rotate. Right. Sure. And so, I was on the singles side and I was down in points. So I really wanted to do well. And I was warmed up. I had been playing for an hour. So there was a ball that was far away, and I was at a full sprint, and I overreached a little bit, and my lower back just screamed, and I fell down and was on my back.
And you screamed.
And then I screamed, right? My back screamed, I screamed, we all screamed for back pain. So
Right.
yeah. And I've hurt my lower back before, and maybe
right. So this is a kind of I don't want to say recurring injury, but
it is, sadly.
You've had tweaked it before a couple.
Right. And it's the same thing every time. I hope it, I think some people would say it's chronic at this point, but I'm hoping to find and I've been in good routines. I've been to a kinesiologist who's given me good strengthening exercises for that part of my body. And I haven't hurt myself badly in this way for over a year. Last Thanksgiving, a year ago, Thanksgiving was the last time that I had a bad episode of this. And I thought I'd been doing good. And obviously with our new routine, I was doing exercises, my whole body was getting stronger. But the frustrating thing is, like, normally when I hurt my back, it's doing something stupid. Like, and when I say that, I mean like doing nothing, like tying my shoe or going into my sock drawer or picking up a toy, things that you're not proud of the story. Usually, when you get injured, you're like, oh, well, you should have seen what I was doing. But like a war story. Right. But so this time it wasn't that. It was actually doing something, overextending myself athletically, where I ended up injuring myself. So I don't know what's more frustrating, like not doing what I'm supposed to do and hurting myself picking out a sock, or doing what I'm supposed to do and then hurting myself, overextending myself physically.
Well, I'll take the second one, because
I guess, right?
Yeah, but because you were feeling good, you were getting stronger, you were losing weight, you had the energy. I mean, obviously you can go play, pickleball. And I know people kind of probably like, what the hell is pickleball? That's not sports, but it's pretty, I've seen some guys play singles.
Well, the thing is, I always wear my Apple Watch, and I record the workout. And if I've played pickleball for an hour and a half, my heartbeat gets up to like 160.
Yeah. And you burn probably 700-800 calories.
Right. Cause it's constant, and it's, and so anyway, like, it's great exercise, great cardio. Cause when I walk, like, I don't, it's like intervals, right? Cause you're going from stop to sprint. Like it's not, it's not something I do normally. So that was really depressing. And unfortunately, it's been almost a week now, and it hasn't really gotten better. In fact, in some ways I could say it's gotten worse.
So did you just throw away the meal plan?
No, that's the thing that I knew I could stick to.
Great. Good job.
Awesome. Honestly, over the weekend, Saturday night into Valentine's Day, there was probably a 20-hour period from when I started eating on Saturday to Valentine's Day, where I kind of was like, cause I ordered Kira and me a nice dinner, and then Saturday night we were outside with some friends, and I did have a glass of wine or two. And so anyway, but cause I knew as Sunday night, I was going to stop at 8, and I was going to get back on it.
Yeah.
So that was nice. And I didn't overdo it. I didn't overdrink or overeat. But so now I'm here, and I'm back on the routine, and I'm just waiting for my back to allow me. Like, there's some things that I can do and feel safe doing it. But I really want this to get better, because we got poor Chuck this weekend.
And I know that's the thing, dude. You got to take care of yourself, so we can.
I don't want to be hobbled,
Poor Chuck. Hey, man. First of all, it's awesome that you did it, and you were able to do all those things, and your meal plan was good, and you weren't hungry, and you were working out and all that stuff. Those are the positives,
for sure.
And you were kicking ass. I mean,
it's
always a kind of a, you got to feel it out period, right?
Yeah.
Like I told you when we were talking earlier, like, if for the first week, if you gave yourself a grade, what would you give yourself for that first week?
I would say maybe an A-, simply because in terms of like managing my, as we say, the macros, which might not make sense to everybody, but my protein, my carbs, and my fat, I wasn't getting enough. Like, I didn't try to master that. I was trying to just be okay with that instead of perfect with that.
Sure.
Because I was looking more at calories than those nutrients.
Sure. Yeah. And that's where the balance is, right? That's where, that's the biggest thing is like what my wife teaches, what I'm trying to teach you is once you get that balance down for you individually, because everybody's not the same. So once you figure out what that is, then you're always going to be able to go back to it always. So and that's always the learning curve, right? As soon as you started February 1, I started with you.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
On Fitness Pal, and I'm trying to get my macros down perfectly. And it's not easy to do. And I know what I'm doing.
Sure.
So it's like, you know, and I'm like, holy crap, I'm 30 grams of protein less than I should be today. Or, you know, so tomorrow.
Well, and that's been an interesting thing for me since I've gotten hurt and I haven't been, you know, we have an exercise bike now and my chiropractor said it's okay to use that. But I'm not going too hard on that. Right. I'm just going kind of mild and so like, I'm not exerting myself as much as if I was healthy, which is because I'm trying to heal. So, you know, going with that idea, you know, I haven't tried to, you know, like I've been kind of relaxed about calorie intake simply because I'm not burning as much.
Sure. Right.
You know,
well, you don't have that problem. I had to actually make you eat more than you normally do.
Right.
So that's different. Most people have to eat less. You had to, you actually had to eat more. And
that's the funny thing is when you're eating,
started losing weight.
When you're eating good things,
it's crazy.
You're not necessarily getting a ton of calories without thinking about it. You know, you eat a bowl of pasta, and it doesn't, you know, you don't think about the calories that are coming in. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
totally.
So totally. It was hard for me to get the calorie count that was recommended to me. Which was kind of a nice thing to figure out.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's been, I'm so excited to be doing this. And, you know, like obviously Port Check is this weekend and that would in theory be the end of the 20 days, but I'm not.
Yeah, no, we got to get you back to healthy and then just kind of do a reboot and go for it again.
Well, because I also have, you know, obviously I'm excited about my wife got me some new workout pants for Valentine's Day.
Awesome.
And you know, the way my favorite, my pant measurement for the longest time has been 31-30.
Yeah. And
like, you know, I'm kind of on a 32 and I'm excited to be back in my 31-30s.
Yeah.
And, you know, I have some physical goals for definition as well as size. And so, you know, I'm not stopping. I ain't stopping. Awesome. Can't stop, won't stop.
I know, buddy. Good job.
Yeah.
More to come.
So, thank you to Steve and everyone rooting me on. Much appreciated. Yeah.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel.